Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and forgive me, I'm starting to feel sick again. But we're gonna power through this video because you guys are worth it. In today's video, we are comparing Apple's best phone, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and Google's best phone, which is the Pixel 8 Pro. And you know, some people are saying that the Pixel 8 Pro is Android's iPhone. And I guess what people mean is that this is Android's best representation on a device. I also compared the Pixel 8 to the iPhone 15, the non-Pro version. And those comparisons are linked down below. The iPhone starts at $1199 for 256 gigabytes of storage, and the Pixel 8 Pro starts at $999 for 128 gigabytes of storage, or $1059 for 256 gigabytes. So in my opinion, when we talk about value, the iPhone is definitely a more expensive phone, but you get more things out of the iPhone. The Pixel 8 Pro is a little bit taller than the iPhone, but nearly every other measurement is the same. I will say the Pixel 8 camera bar, although it sticks out a lot, I do find it pretty nice where I can kind of hold my finger under it, so when I hold the phone, I really use this as like a second handle, kind of like a pop socket if you will, and this is really nice for me. But for the most part, both of these phones are larger phones, and if you find one comfortable, you'll find the other one comfortable too, as they're nearly the same size. The iPhone only uses eSIM. Now, if you're a person who just uses the phone and that's it, once you get it set up, you'll be completely fine. But if you're someone that travels out of the country and you swap SIMs out, or you like to switch out phones, this may cause a little bit of issues for you. I still believe this day and age having a physical SIM card is the best solution, and with most phones you have the option between physical and eSIM. The iPhone, you only have an eSIM here in America. So both these phones are made from glass, and the Pixel has an aluminum frame and the iPhone Pro has this titanium frame. This allows the iPhone to be lighter than last year's phone, and it does feel lighter, and it still feels pretty good in the hand. I love the design, I love how it's built, but I do find the iPhone's design, its curvature at the bottom, to just be easier to hold for me. But it's actually heavier than the Pixel 8 Pro, believe it or not. The iPhone is also rated for 6 meters underwater for 30 minutes, and the Pixel is rated for 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. Honestly though, this doesn't matter. I use cases for these phones because one bad drop, this phone could completely shatter. And with the new iPhone, although it's titanium, it seems like it doesn't hold up as well as last year's phone. At this point, most high-end phones have great displays, and this is true here. I love both of these displays. Spec-wise, the Pixel can get brighter with peak HDR. This does come into play when viewing photos or watching HDR content outside in direct sunlight. But other than that, both displays are plenty bright in most scenarios, and they look great when watching any sort of content. I definitely will say the Pixel gets the edge because you have a lot more display settings in here that you can do. Especially you can adjust the color. So under colors, you can set it to adaptive, which is more of a saturated look, or you can do a natural look, which is more realistic or a little bit muted. You have options like that, which is extremely nice to have. And beyond that, you can do so many more things. You can change the navigation mode at the bottom, just like many other Android phones, right? You know, you have a lot of options when it comes to Android, whereas iPhone, you're pretty much stuck with the stock setup. And you know, they're adding more customization, but at the end of the day, if you really want to customize your device, getting an Android is the best way to do it. Okay, a lot of information just came out, so it's time to take a quick break from the video to talk about today's sponsor. So I know for me growing up, mental health wasn't a topic that I talked about with my parents or my friends. It was sort of that taboo conversation that you would hear every once in a while, but it wasn't something that affected me. But I learned over the past few years, taking care of your mental health is as important as taking care of your physical health. I've seen a few videos online about the HomeMedics Drift, and when HomeMedics reached out to me about using it, I was excited to give it a try. The new HomeMedics Drift is 11 inches, so it's perfect for any space that you have. Within the app, you can select from different playlists, which uses the magnetic ball to craft these beautiful designs in the sand. When it's combined with headphones and lights, you find yourself immersed in a sensory escape. I found myself using the Drift before bed after a long day to help me slow down and disconnect my mind. I've had a few people check it out and they were amazed at the designs, the intricate details it can actually make. I also love the app. There are so many cool designs and you can adjust the lights as well, and you can make a fully customized scene that works best for you. The HomeMedics Drift is not only cool technology, but it's something that I have used to disconnect, slow down, and also stay present in that current moment. Check it out for yourself, link is down below. Now let's get back to these phones. I got a few more things to talk about. When we discuss performance, it really is about the way you plan to use your device and what experience you are going to run into. I would say historically the Tensor chip has not aged well compared to the iPhone's chips or even the Snapdragons. Also, it can run a bit hot at times. The Tensor 3 so far has been holding up pretty well, and it wasn't getting as hot as I would expect it to, albeit it's still a little warm. You know, I can bounce between apps very often. I can have a YouTube video running, Spotify running, and texting and going back and forth, and it doesn't skip a beat for the most part. And the reason I say that, I have ran into issues with this phone more than any phone this year that I've reviewed, where I just have to shut the phone down. Things start getting slow, or things won't open, or settings won't adjust. I don't understand why, but it's one of those things that I'm rebooting this phone more than I normally reboot phones, and that's something I had to mention. Now, the iPhone has a new chip as well, and you know what, guys? It gets pretty hot too. Now, they have pushed out a couple of updates to help remedy the overheating issue, but it definitely is a hot phone. I have seen the message saying that this phone has stopped charging due to its heat, and it wasn't like an abnormally hot day. We're not even tapping into the true potential of this chip, because this chip definitely has a trick up its sleeve when it comes to high-end gaming. We're talking AAA titles that will be available on this device pretty soon. Now, I was able to play the new Resident Evil on here, which is a AAA title, and it looks absolutely insane for a mobile device. NBA 2K Arcade, which as of this video should be out now, but I've played that for a little bit as well, and the graphics are really good. There is definitely going to be more to come when it comes to gaming on this device. I just hope they figure out a way to keep the temperature down, get the thermals in the right spot. Now, both phones have a lot going on when we talk about cameras. Both phones are known for its camera. The Pixel is known for its camera. That is its calling card. And the iPhone had major camera updates the last few years with its phone. So it's really interesting to see how we are looking when it comes to this camera comparison. We could talk about specs all day and 48 versus 50 megapixel and depth of field. Look, guys, I don't do that. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. What I want to do is look at some photos side by side. But this time around, we're doing something a little bit different. We have camera A versus camera B. This is the Pixel 8 Pro, and this is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and this is the back-facing camera shot on 4K. And there's no other settings that were adjusted, and just going to do a comparison between the video quality and also the audio quality. Okay, same scenario, except for this is the front-facing camera on the iPhone, which is this one right here, and also the Pixel, which is one right here as well. I would say I'm roughly 3 feet away from both of them once again. And this is the front facing camera. So what do you guys think? Were you surprised about the results? Now Google does have a feature called Best Take, which I'm sure you guys have seen before, so I won't talk about it a lot. But for parents, this type of software is really amazing. You take a series of photos and then you can select the best face from each person to make the perfect photo so everyone looks like they're looking at the camera and smiling. This has came in handy so much. Even having the phone for a month, there's been several situations where I've used it. And then also you could do Magic Eraser on this phone for free, whereas if you'd use another type of phone, Magic Eraser does cost per month using the Google One service. There's also some more AI trickery when it comes to video. You can do things like isolate the voice or get rid of the voice in different shots. So here are some quick examples of me using it in the best possible scenario.
Pixel 8 Pro, we're here in Times Square obviously. So this is a good example of using audio Magic Eraser. Pixel 8 Pro, we're here in Times Square obviously. So this is a good example of using audio Magic Eraser.
Overall, I do love both camera systems. The Pixel is a lot better on video than we have seen from any Pixel, and I'm quite impressed with the video quality that came out of it. And when looking at both pictures side by side and doing a blind comparison to people in my house and some of my friends I sent the video to, majority of people were picking the iPhone, believe it or not. The iPhone has a trick up its sleeve, and that is ProRes video. Without getting too technical and too nerdy, ProRes video allows you to record video with more data in a flat profile, which can give you some amazing looking video shots. This unlocks the iPhone camera capabilities, and it is really amazing what the iPhone can do with this ProRes software. And this is actually the best video that can come out of any phone, period. But only a small number of people use that feature. For the most part, they're pointing and clicking and things like that. And when you consider that, both phones are gonna do a great job. Now, in my opinion, iOS is sort of a stale software and hasn't had a lot of changes just yet. There's been little changes sprinkled in here and there, but nothing has changed the game for me. Whereas Android, I do think they are continuing to evolve a little bit, especially the Pixel software. Now the Pixel does have a bunch of AI stuff baked in and things I've talked about in my other videos on Pixel. So make sure you check those videos out if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to AI. But the AI features on the Pixel phone are helpful. They're not gimmicks, they're extremely helpful. And when I switch back to an iPhone or I'm switching to a different phone, I absolutely miss the things that the Pixel can provide for me, like the call screening. When we talk about battery life, that is something that is also going to be very subjective as well. It depends on how you use your device. To be honest, this iPhone is starting to scare me. It's reminding me of the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which couldn't last me a full day. It's getting to the point where it's now 11:25 p.m. and we're at 19%, I would say, during this 30-minute recording session. I don't have the SIM card in the Pixel right now, so this is not a great representation, but typically I would have 5 to 10% more on the Pixel than the iPhone. Not much better, but it is better, and that is the difference between a dead phone and a working phone. So for me, overall, if I had to pick one phone and not discussing the ecosystem, I'm gonna pick the Pixel 8 Pro.